Hey everybody, welcome to Virgo season. For all you sun sign Virgos, happy birthday to you. There is going to be a special bonus reading just for the Virgo Sun babies at the very end. For the rest of you, this is for everyone as we go into Virgo season. You're going to have a choice of 3 different pick-a-cards. You can choose as many as you want. Reading number 1 is actually going to be the Virgo sign. Reading number 2 is going to be Mercury, which is the planet that rules Virgo. And then lastly, you have a choice of choosing the earth element, which is what the Virgo is. So reading 1, 2, and 3. Bonus reading for Virgo Suns will be at the very end, and timestamps for everything will be in the description box below. So we'll go ahead and jump in. Virgo season, just real quick, of course, is August 23rd is when it sparks off, and it'll go through September 21st with the autumn equinox happening on September 22nd when we go into Libra this year. So I am excited for what this Virgo season is going to bring, and we'll see what it has in store for you. And here we go. All right, if you chose reading number 1, which is the Virgo zodiac sign here, then this is the reading for you. And with this comes the energy of the Virgo Sun signs, which can be summed up of I analyze. Virgos very much have an analytical mind. They have this like realistic earthiness about them that has this energy that enables all of us going through the Virgo season to create like this stable eye of the storm center where it allows us to shut out all these distractions so we can analyze our situation in a place of calm instead of doing somersaults out in the storm. So you can ask yourself, what in my life can be ignored? And also ask yourself, what must be attended to in my life? And it's a time to pay attention to those details, but don't take it to an extreme and become overly analytical or even overly critical. So it's that balance that we can obtain with that. And so I'm going to move this over here for now. And because this is all about, that what can be ignored, what needs to be attended to, we're going to pull a card here from this Power of Surrender cards, because this will tell us what can fall away or what do we need to surrender to and pay attention to. So let me just give these a good shuffle and we'll see what the Creator wants you to know. But what can fall away or what do you need to fall into instead? All right, Creator, for those of us who chose reading number 1 for the Virgo sign, what do you want them to know about what to surrender to or to let go of and surrender it? Okay, so this is going to be your card here. And you got surrender your desire to control people. Oh, no. And it says, being over-controlling can sabotage relationships. To more effectively achieve your goals, back off, regroup, and give this situation some breathing room, which is totally fits in with what we were talking about, with not being overly critical or overly analytical. That extends out into trying to control situations and people, the external world, trying to herd all those cats, which always works exactly 0% of the time, unless the cats want to be herded, which generally they don't. They're very independent, right? So I love this, that the focus that you can, make during this Virgo season is, what are you trying to control? What are you trying to fix out there? And do the reflection on the inside, because all that stuff that you're trying to control is because you feel unsafe, because you feel that if those things are not met, that you are not lovable, that you are rejectable, that, it has this reflection into your self-worth and how you believe about yourself. So when you look about all those things as mirrors, and instead of voicing yourself outwardly to try to control those things, you can take this time to take a deep breath and go, okay, why am I trying to control that? Why do I think that needs fixing? What's my belief about that? What is, if that's not fixed, what does it mean about me? So big, reflective, internal time for you. We're also going to pull some cards here from these chakra reading cards, or at least one. And we're just going to see what chakra, or what chakra energy the creator would like you to take a look at, or it's a tool that you can use to help transform this energy for you, and bring the positive things in your life, the things that are more, I want to say positive necessarily, because I was reading this book and it talked about those things that we think are negative in our lives. Everything just is, but when our ego has its supposed to's and what it believes should happen, anything that doesn't fit into its control, fit into its world as the supposed to be, it considers negative, right? And that's how it works. It's like, well, that's not negative to everyone, just to whoever doesn't think that that should be happening, right? All right, Creator. So what do you want those that chose the Virgo Sun to know about? What tool can they use to help transform? Okay, there we go. You got the Psychic Development card, number 27. You can zoom in there. And I love that. Before we read from the book, I really feel like that's psychic development is like connecting to the other side, connecting to our higher selves, where we get to see things for how they truly are. We get to understand a little more into how that thread fits into the big tapestry of life and how things are. And I even see like this is looking at you into your shadow, because like we talked about, what does this mean about me? Delving into the unknown, delving into your subconscious and your unconscious about all these questions we were asking, right? About why do I want to control that? Let's get into that and look at that. This is the third eye, of course, chakra. And it says you've called upon this card today as it is a powerful time to develop your psychic abilities. Connecting to our psychic awareness is like having an extra sense. People often refer to it as the sixth sense, of course. Everyone is psychic, including you, and now it's time for you to deepen your psychic abilities. You could possibly have a lineage of psychic ancestors, as this gift can be handed down through your bloodline. There are 4 main ways we can connect to our psychic abilities: through vision, hearing, knowing, and feeling. And these senses are like muscles. The more you work them, the stronger they become. There's usually one sense that comes more naturally to you than the others, and you're encouraged to focus on it. This card is a reflection that it is time to start flexing your psychic muscle to discover new wisdom for yourself and others. It'd be a great time to attend a workshop to assist you, to read some books, listen to some podcasts, whatever medium suits you. It's time to dive in. And as you grow in your abilities, you receive an abundance of wisdom, love, and guidance to enjoy and to share with others. Pulling this card could also mean that you've been working on your psychic abilities and you're encouraged to keep going, as the answers for you at this time will come through your connection to your higher self. Such a powerful time of development and learning. Make sure to take the time to honor and nurture your gifts and this process. And the affirmation for this card says, I'm deeply connected to my intuition and reclaim my psychic gifts now. Yep, and that is the message for that. So that is perfect, Like I said, especially with this, and I analyze. When you analyze just with the 5 senses, you only get a portion of the information. But when you connect with your 6th sense, then that gives you more clarity than you could ever imagine, understanding why people do the things they do, understanding the previous experiences they had that molded that. So that is something that helps you understand people on the outside. But it gives you a great perspective of your inner world as well, about how you feel about yourself and why you feel things about yourself as well. I'm just going to move these rocks over here. And we're going to dig a little deeper into this as well through these, the Naked Heart Tarot, and just see what else the Creator wants you to know about this. And I actually feel like we're going to pull kind of like 4 cards. One for each week of this Virgo season. Because there are like 4 weeks within that period. Okay, come on. There we go. All right, Creator. So what do you want them to know about the 4 weeks that are coming up? Okay. So this is week 1, this is week 2, this is week 3. And what about the last week? Okay. All right, so week 1, you have the 5 of Pentacles. And the 5 of Pentacles, represents, you see, like the broken diamond, the broken pearls. It has to do with your feelings of your worth, your feelings of other people's worth. And what's beautiful about this card, though, is that we can never be broken. This is just this illusion that we have, that we come here to experience, that we can be less than, that we can be, like I said, have a broken heart, have a broken spirit, not be worthy, all those beautiful self-worth things. And there's this message that comes with it about when you define yourself by the external things and your worth to others, what happens is you determine a retail price, because that's what it is. What something's worth to other people's retail. What you feel worth for yourself is what self-worth is. No one can tell you what your self-worth is, because it's self-worth. So when other people tell you what you're worth, you put that in the retail column instead. And the thing about retail prices, it depends on other people's moods and the season of life that it is. Because if you're this beautiful warm coat, people in Alaska during the winter, like North Alaska, are going to think you're precious and, oh my gosh, you're everything. But if you visit southern Texas in the middle of summer, you're going to end up on the blue light special rack on clearance, because they don't feel you're worthy at that time. And so that's the unstable world of retail. But when you look inward, and like it mentions here, connecting to your higher self, that is where you find your true worth. That is where you find that you are unconditionally loved and priceless. Because when you connect to the other world, it is a place of unconditional love, where there's no condition to be loved. Because if there is one condition, it makes it conditional, but it's unconditional over there. They don't even know what feeling, they don't even know what worth is, because everything's priceless. There's no thing that's worth less, so they have nothing to compare it to. And that's how we come here in this life, to experience what it might feel like to feel worth less, so that we can understand more fully what it feels to be priceless on the other side. So know that everything that happens in this life is happening for your experience and for your own growth, ultimately. In the first week of this month is when you're really starting to connect and understand your worth. And then week number 2, you move into the Sage. And the Sage is kind of like the Hierophant in regular tarot. But the Sage is all about learning and growing, understanding, again, here's the third eye that we've been talking about. So the wisdom and the information that comes. And I feel for this reading, this is the Akashic records, which what the Akasha records are about your experiences here, your lessons that you learned. And before you come down to the earth, as your higher self, your higher soul, you meet with all, with the Creator and Spirit and all the posse of individuals that are going to be with us in our life, as well as all of our invisible support team that's going to help things unfold. And think of it as like you're entering a game and you have to select your avatar. So you select what you're going to look like, what family you're going to be related to, what your strengths and your weapons and everything else are, like when you're selecting, like an avatar for a game. And then you also determine when you're going to leave the game. And then all these events, all these levels that you want to achieve as you go through this life and play the game. And so all this, record that you have, it's like the Wheel of Fortune feel to it. It's letting you know that everything happens for you, and there, kind of like we were talking about with the Five of Pentacles too. Every experience, every emotion happens for you. You still have the free will as the character, that in every moment you get to choose, are you going to feel an emotion of extreme fear or an emotion of extreme unconditional love connecting to your higher self? And you get to choose whatever in between there, whatever flavor of emotions you choose as you go through the experience of life. And so this is really showing you that connecting to your third eye chakra and allows you to tap into more wisdom, like it mentioned, into the other side to see things for what it is. There's also this underlying, the Hierophant in regular tarot talks about organized religions or organized spirituality. Our human side tries to define things, understand things, which then turns on to controlling things about how spirituality is supposed to be. Oh, no, you, like, even in card reading, there's all these beliefs, all these different ones of, you've got a sage with white sage each time to clear the energies, or, no, you can never use anyone else's cards, and don't let people touch your cards. And, we have all these beliefs that limit our spirituality. And so I really feel like this is also this awareness around control, about things. You can step outside and you can start questioning these boundaries that you have around spirituality as well. Which takes you into week number 3, which you've got the Death card. Oh no! So don't worry, you don't die in week 3. This is about, because you're questioning these things, old beliefs and things that no longer serve you, you're letting go. It's death and rebirth. And I love that they show the cycles of the moon, because we start off with a new moon and we move toward the full moon. And so we plant seeds and things grow, and then the full moon happens where there's the harvest, and then we go back and get rid of the stuff that no longer serves us, and what are we willing to let go of, right? So what we're willing to surrender, and then new seeds are planted, and it's this constant cycle of life, because that's what we do. We get all this conditioning as we're growing up, and at some point when you start to connect, to your higher self, that's when you start to let go and you start to uncondition your love. You start to uncondition your mind and challenge your beliefs, which is what this was all about. So this is great. The third week, you're like, okay, I've determined what I'm ready to let go of, and I'm letting it go. And don't be scared, because you are the one that gets to choose whether you're going to let something go or not, because you will never let go of anything that you're not ready to. And we really never do anything we don't want to do for very long. Truth, right? And that takes you into the fourth one, which is beautiful. This is the Strength card. And for me, this really represents connecting to your higher self and this joining together of your higher self and your human self. Because what this is for me, the lion, usually in a lot of tarot cards, it'll show a lion and a lady that's either embracing the lion or calming the lion in some way. And the lion represents our human side, this character, the avatar we talked about going through life. It's hungry and it's thirsty, and it's taught, look out here for your thirst quenching waters and your food that's going to make you feel full, like the manna of heaven that's going to make you feel whole and complete. The only problem with that is that the external world, the food is like American Chinese food. You eat it and you're hungry an hour later. Or it's like drinking soda. It's full of sodium, so it doesn't quench your thirst, makes you thirstier. And so the lion becomes this roaring, hungry, angry lion in the jungle, roaring because it's desperate for its hunger to be satisfied and for its thirst to be quenched. And what it's searching for is love. And that's what we all hunger for. We all want to be loved. And all that external world is that conditional love, like we talked about. And then there's usually the infinity symbol that's on the female on the card. Here you have the winged creature and the infinity, which means that we connect with our infinite self. Again, I talked about connecting to your higher self, right? And the higher self, because it is a being made of unconditional love, it comes down to comfort that lion. And it doesn't cage it. It doesn't kill it with a sword. It doesn't try to, suppress it with a whip and a chair, like in the circus movies and all that. She brings it what it's hungry for, which is the unconditional love. And so she embraces it, and it changes and transforms the loud roaring lion in the jungle into a purring kitten sitting in her lap because it feels safe and secure, and its belly's full and it's no longer thirsty because the love that it's been searching for is brought from that. And I love this because this is like a combination. It then joins together, and kind of like a caterpillar is part of a butterfly. It's like the lion is part of your higher self, and it's this beautiful joining together of it, and not this kind of like this drive where you feel like your spirit has to kill your ego. It's like, no, your shadow self is this brave soul, that a part of yourself that was willing to disconnect from feeling that fullness and that wholeness to feel the opposites of what we are and walk upon the earth. And so it's this beautiful embracing of holding hands with your higher self and your ego and walking, embracing your shadow and walking together in your path. So it's a beautiful awareness that comes from especially connecting to your higher self here. So I'm really loving that. Let me just straighten these out a little bit. And then lastly, to end your reading here, I'm going to pull a card here from the Chakra Love deck and to see what the final messages the Creator has for you. That shows reading number 1, which is the Virgo Sun. Okay. Any others? Okay. And last pass. Okay, no, just these two. So your first one is Foundation, which is the root chakra. It says, foundation is what the castle of your soul is built upon. And this is a good message when we're talking about getting down to like your worth, getting down to understanding what it is, what your fears are. Because the root chakra is where we experience our fears in front of our face. I usually say it's like a bull. It sees red and it charges because that's its emotional. It just knows, And so this is part of getting to the root of our fears, getting to the root and understanding and looking at our fears, which we fear that we're not worthy of love. We fear the unknown. We fear death because we don't know what's on the other side. Whatever those roots are of those fears, you get to the bottom of it and you look at your foundation, which the foundation, if you're building your worth upon the external things, like we talked about that love, that's an unstable love. That's the shifting sands, the cracked foundation, the unstable foundation. And if you build your life on that, then your entire life feels unstable. It's always shifting, right? But when we connect to the higher realms and make the love of the Creator, the unconditional love, that's a solid, stable, eternal foundation. Everything on the outside world is temporary and ever changing. So we're like, that is the foundation that you can get down to and build your life upon that foundation. Because if you build your life on your inner self-worth with the Creator as the foundation, with that unconditional love, can't lose it. You can't gain any more of it because you have it all. It's stable. But when you look on the outside world, oh lordy, it is a constant storm of chaos, and that's how we feel about ourselves when we use that to define our self-worth, right? So beautiful foundation. And then you got creativity. Throat chakra, use creativity to transform your pain into positivity. So definitely this is about throat chakra, not only is about your voice, so your inner talk and how you're reflecting yourself out into the world through your voice. It also is your hands and your arms, because when you stand with your arms outright, pointing on each side, it's at the level of your throat. So this is about the actions that you take and how are you, even typing out into the world, texting out into the world. How are you communicating yourself? Whatever you're putting out there is what's growing, because that's your power. So if you're putting out negativity and control and fear and all those, that's what's growing. And what's lovely is when you connect to your higher self and to that love, you get to determine, how do I want to uniquely and creatively express that unconditional love to the world in my own unique way. I don't need to regurgitate and imitate others. How do I want to do that? Do I want to add to the collective, all the energy on the planet? Do I want to be giving love and helping it become healthier? Or do I want to be, spreading disease and fear among everything else? What do I want to do? So a beautiful message for you, for all of you that chose the Virgo sun sign here. And just know, as you go throughout the Virgo season, each and every day, you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things, and I love you too. Have an amazing Virgo season, and I'm sure I'll be talking to you soon. You take care now. Right. If you chose reading number 2, which was the planet Mercury, and then this is your reading, of course. And what we're going to look at, Mercury itself was known, as the messenger of the gods. It's the, you'll see him pictured with wings, like the shoes with wings on them. So they were the ones, he was the one that, brought the messages of the gods to the people. And the planet Mercury itself sits between the sun, it's the first planet, so it sits between the sun and all of the other planets, especially, of course, the Earth. And so Mercury is what brings those messages that come from the sun, come from the source to all of us. So Mercury really is about kind of, mainly the mind, but it's specifically around our intelligence and around communication. And so with this energy that comes in from Mercury, there's this desire to share your ideas and to be heard. Also, because it's around intelligence, it could also, for some of you, be this kind of push or desire, this urge to further your education or just further your knowledge in general. And because of that, because this is all about messenger, what I'm going to pull is a card here from the angel guide, because the messengers also, angels are kind of looked at as our messengers. And we'll see what the creator wants for you that chose the reading number 2 to know. What message is good for you for the Virgo season? Creator, for those that chose reading number 2, what message do you want to bring them for this period in time? Okay, so this is the one, and you got no. The answer is no. That's the message, right? Oh, beautiful. So let's see here. And that's, it's funny, but it's also very empowering, because it says your angels are drawing close at this time to help you recognize that the answer to the question on your mind is no. This is not the time to proceed. You may want to, but you're being encouraged to see beyond the current situation and understand that following through on your idea may have a negative effect on the whole course of your life. So angels are swooping in because they want to save the day and save you a lot of heartache from a choice that is not heart-centered. If you're feeling upset or annoyed by this guidance, that's okay. You are allowed to have an emotional response. But in truth, there will be a part of you that already knows that what you're considering isn't the best use of your energy. So do not make plans. Do not move forward. Retreat and reflect. Think deeply. Seek the advice of those you love and trust, and ask them to help you get to the bottom of the question or issue or decision that is before you. Do not make any sudden moves. This card's coming in to help you sustain your mental, emotional, and spiritual energy and stay on the road to wholeness. So it's a good message, One of the beautiful things about life is that, hearing that song, like old country song playing in my head, I thank God for unanswered prayers. When when it talks about trust, the only one that I've learned that I can trust 100% in this world is the Creator, because humans have our ego and our fear ego, and when we go into fight or flight mode, all the blood rushes from our brain, and we don't make wise decisions, and we don't, and we make, decisions on actions that aren't, like it said, heart-centered. It's fear-based centered. It's survival-centered rather than love-centered. So with that, thank God for unanswered prayers. We can trust the Creator that our life is unfolding for us. And life isn't happening to us. So when we get a no, it can be a pause. It could be, like it said, not now. And then it's a good time to sit back and then reflect and go, when it talked about heart-centered, is what I'm trying to pursue and what I'm trying to do, is it based on what makes my heart sing and what I truly want? Or is it out of fear, trying to make things happen that I feel are supposed to happen, should happen, need to happen, have to happen, because if they don't, it means something about my definition of who I am. And so it's this real awareness that comes with this message, that every moment is either of unconditional love or a cry out for unconditional love, the fear of losing that conditional love from all those things from the outside world. So it's a good message. I really think, our power of no also comes to this, that you're allowed to say no to opportunities and situations that come your way. If it doesn't make you happy, if it's not an absolute yes, a hell yes, then it's a no. And that's how you can kind of gauge it. Trusting your feelings. Does it feel right? Okay, then you know your answer. If it doesn't feel right, then don't do it. Trust that. Trust that gut. Next, we're going to pull some cards here from these chakra cards, or a card, and just see what the Creator wants you to know about what energy can you use as a tool to help you through this Virgo period here, with saying no and knowing when to say no and feeling not guilty about saying no, or explaining why you say no. And that happens, when people are, your friends will call up or contact you and say, hey, we're all going out Friday, you want to go? And you're like, oh, I really don't want to, but I don't want to hurt their feelings, so I'll force myself to go out. And even if I'm a slag the whole time, bringing down the energy, I'm going to do it because I feel I have to. Rather than saying, oh, no, thank you. But, if you want to do something on Saturday, I'd like to do something with you, do you have any plans? So it's not like, no, this is the reason why I'm saying no. You can say no. And then if you do want to spend time with that person, make plans one-on-one with that person. If you don't want to hang around in a group, if you're not up to that, you find ways to still let people know you love them and you care about them and you want to spend time with them. Even if you just tell them, no, I need some alone time. I'm doing some inner reflection. If you feel you want to give a reason, you can. Nothing wrong with it. If you're doing it out of love, because you don't want them to hurt their feelings. But just know that you don't have to have a reason. All right, and then we'll see Creator. So for those that chose the Mercury card, what do you want them to know about what tool can help them have the wonderful experience here? Okay, so this is the card here. And you've got the Holistic Health. Card number 7. Beautiful card there. Yeah, so definitely sometimes saying no to things, it's for our own good, our own health, right? Our health overall, even though we don't think that it's, something that we should be kept from, right? Something that we should be denied. But this is the base chakra, the root chakra, which is where we experience and face our fears. It's one of the beautiful places. It's like when a bull sees red and charges. It's an important energy for us to face, and that's part of our whole journey here. And so I really feel like it's a wonderful energy to help you with this no, because like we talked about, we're afraid what no means. If it's something we're asking for and we're told no, is it because I'm not worthy of it? Rather than, thank you, Creator. I know you're watching out for me and got my back. So if you're telling me no, I know it's for me. You're not just being mean to me to try to be, a mean God. So it says here, you have drawn this card today, let you know that healing is at hand. It's your natural state of being to be healthy in all aspects of your life. Your mind, your body, and spirit are constantly working to attain good health. Due to the world we live in, which is filled with stress and toxic chemicals, disharmony is prevalent. The body, however, has an innate intelligence to heal. Your job is to get out of its way and clear your emotional and mental imbalances so the body can heal itself. Disease and sickness can occur on many levels. The body can store old emotions and beliefs, which in time can create imbalances in your outer energy, causing disharmony and disease. Healing is holistic, and when you can work on the many layers of being, miracle healing can occur and a state of well-being can take place. Have you been feeling out of balance, sluggish, and generally unwell? It's time to tune in and become aware of any disharmony in your field. Do what's required for holistic healing to occur. It's time to expand your awareness and look behind the issue at what emotion or outdated belief system could be causing an imbalance. You're the most powerful person in your life to create profound healing. It's time to look at yourself holistically and let go of anything that's not serving your highest purpose at this time. Say no to it, right? do what's required to nurture this process, whether it is to go and see a healer, a massage therapist, start a daily practice like yoga, meditation, or some form of exercise. You may also be guided to change what you eat or change something in your environment. Whatever your mind, body, and spirit is calling you to do, it's a perfect time to take action and invite holistic healing into your life. And the affirmation for this card is, every little cell in my body is happy and healthy. Right, and that is it for that message there. And I really love it that I'm getting this message too, that rather than focusing on all the things like no, and focusing on your energy of what you don't want, what I feel like this energy is bringing in for you is to focus on what you do want in your life. Because whatever you focus your energy on is what grows. So if you're focusing on no, I shouldn't eat that, I shouldn't do that, I shouldn't talk to that person. It's like focus on what you are, the positives, the loving things in your life, rather than focusing on those things that might be actions might be unloving. Don't focus on all the don't. Allow that no to have you choose the yes. I want this. This is what I want. I'm focusing my energy in that direction. So that is a beautiful additional message for that, how to use your no. And then what we're going to do, we're going to take these, the Naked Heart Tarot, and we're going to pull 4 cards which represent each of the 4 weeks within this Virgo season. So we'll see what the Creator wants you to know for each of those weeks. All right, Creator, what do you want them to know about week 1? Okay, so that's week 1 and okay, do it this way. Week 1 and week 2, here's week 3. And then what about week 4? Okay, that's week 4. So week 1, you're coming in with the 7 of Wands. And the 7 of Wands, wands are fire energy. It's about your spark, your drive, your ambition. Also can be about your spirituality. But the 7 of Wands, you can say, it's like this feeling of needing to defend yourself. And this is perfect for this no, because as you're entering into this period, this Virgo season where you're focusing on the no, you do feel like you need to defend yourself at times, right? Like we were talking about, I have to have an excuse of why I'm saying no, like, oh, I feel sick. I'll tell a lie somehow that'll make it seem okay. That way I don't hurt anyone's feelings, but you're not being authentic to yourself. You're not being truthful to yourself. And there's ways that because then you feel guilty about it, and then you get used to lying. And then you feel like, you have to maintain your lies. So like, oh, you feeling better? What do you mean? Well, you were sick, weren't you? Oh, that's right. I was sick. It's like, although you see that in the movies, right? When people lie and they get busted in their lies. Instead of being truthful and authentic, like we were talking about, you can tell people, hey, do you want to come to my wedding? And you're like, you know what? At this time in my life, I just can't. But where's your registry? I do want to send you a gift, and I definitely want to get together afterwards, and I can have dinner with you both. I'd like to get to know, your new spouse, and blah 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 blah. And if that's truly what you want, if you don't want anything to do with them, you can just tell them, oh, I'd prefer not to, but I wish you all the best, have an amazing time. And if they're like, oh, what? You don't want to go to my wedding? If that opens up some healing that needs to happen, whatever. But being authentic allows you to really get in tune with your emotions and what you're wanting. And you don't have to become defensive. You can just a lot of times they'll show someone on a hill. You can just take your position and stay with it. You don't have to worry. about explaining yourself, because your life is yours. You get to live your life. They get to live their life with whatever choices. You just get to live with the effect of, anything you do. As long as you're okay with whatever comes around because of that. If you say no to someone like that person invited to a wedding and you really don't want them in your life, you're like, you know what, I really don't want them in my life, then what do you have to lose? Because if they get upset and go, well, fine, don't ever talk to me again. Ooh, problem solved. It's like really understanding what you want. There's wonderful examples. I don't know where they come up with these, but they are perfect for us. And then week number 2, as you come into that, you got Sky Father here. And so Sky Father is like the Emperor in regular tarot. And I love that they have the Sky Father here because it gives a different tint and a feel to the energy of the card. Because the Emperor in the Major Arcana is about, a kind of, I wouldn't say controlling, but it's society where it comes in with roles for us. And, in the beginning, it's pretty people-based, where it was like, let's come up with some rules so we don't kill each other if we're going to all be living in these large groups and clans next to each other. That's how it started, right? Well, I got to have some rules, and so those developed, and then of course human ego gets involved and it becomes a more power-based, and then all these rules come up to benefit their tribe and their clan or their family, and then their city, and then their country, and they come up all that stuff, right? And so it's this very suppressive and not freeing feeling, which is what this no comes in, is being willing to say no to all these expectations. There are rules in place for a reason of safety and, different things. And so if you break rules, of course, can be repercussions in the external world on it. And if you're okay with it, then there you go, right? But, this no is really about, I think, more about the expectations and all those unspoken things that aren't like law, they're conditional love laws. I'll only be lovable when this happens type of stuff. But I love the energy that comes with this Sky Father, because Sky Father has more of this Native American feel. They would call it Sky Father, Earth Mother, things along those lines. And that represents just this unconditional love of the Creator. In fact, it kind of looks like he's winking at us, right? Wink, wink. And that it allows us to move above these, all this stress and all this, all the little things we sweat over here, and even the big things we sweat over here. When you drift out, there's a wonderful meditation where you drift up outside of your body, and then you picture yourself going up to the roof, and then above your neighborhood, and then your city and your state and your country, moving out into space, where you sit on the moon and look at the earth, and then you even move beyond the moon and start moving further out. And the more you start moving further out, the smaller everything, of course, becomes, both physically in that, a meditation state when you're looking at things, but your cares of the world start to become smaller. You're like, in the scheme of things, who cares? When you look at how, from that higher standpoint, as this spiritual being, this powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love, when you look back on the earth, you really look at it and see, well, what am I, that's temporary. That's going to end. Eventually the earth will end. Eventually the sun will, poop out over the billions of years. In the long term, I'm eternal. I'm going to see all that come and go. What's most important, right? And that's where we come back to that heart-centered decisions rather than ego. So I really feel like that's kind of like this message is the ego-based and the heart-based. And then you move into week number 3, and you got the moon. And this is beautiful. It has both the sun and the moon energy with it, which kind of has this, like lone wolf kind of energy to it, which is about connecting to your higher power, connecting to your intuition, connecting to even the divine feminine within you, because the moon relates a lot to the high priestess energy, and getting in tune with your emotions and the fluctuations and even the phases of the moon. And, with the Sky Father, if you look at the sun, we're talking about Mercury being a messenger of the sun. The moon also is like this reflection of the sun. We only see it when it's reflecting the energy of the sun, the light of the sun, right? During a new moon, when it goes down to nothing, then we don't see it because it's, in between the sun and the earth. And you don't see it because the other side of the moon is what's being lit up. And so there's this beautiful message here with just seeing what kind of energy you're reflecting into the world. Am I reflecting it keeps on going back to this, my authentic self? Am I shining and being myself? Or am I trying to imitate and make everyone like me by doing everything they say? Is your middle name called Matt and you're in the front of a door and are people walking all over you? You have a different experience awaiting you here, right? And I love this brightness. It's like the brightness of the sun in your hair even. So it's like bringing that power and that ability. The moon also helps you get into your, trusting your gut, your intuition, but it helps you dive into the unknown, into even in the darkness, stars shine, and it just allows you to understand, the phases of your life and understanding why you're not saying no. And on the flip side, why you're saying no to doing things that you really want to do as well. So there's this kind of this coin, both sides of the coin here, that, why you're doing things you don't want to do and why aren't you doing things you want to do. And then you move into the fourth week. Oh, beautiful. You got the 9 of Cups. Here's the moon we were just talking about. So definitely 9 of Cups is about wishes fulfilled. All of these cups are full. You're feeling emotionally content and full. And I love that, as this journey unfolds and you're learning to say no, you're not investing energy into doing things you don't want to do. A lot of times we get all these expectations of what you're supposed to do. And, if you have a large family or you live near family, or even if your friends have this ritual of doing things like, oh, let's all get together. It's like, okay, we're supposed to get together for birthdays and anniversaries and weddings and holidays, and every month we have a game night, and you have all this stuff that a lot of people show up just to check it off. Okay, I was here, but it doesn't mean anything. You're investing this energy into things that you really don't want to do anymore. And so speaking up, helps that. There's a story of these 4 friends that they had a beautiful adventure together, and they found this awesome restaurant that was 3 hours away from their town. And they decided they liked it so much that every year around that date, they would, go and get all together and drive all together all the way out to the restaurant and eat and, and then drive back and da-da-da-da-da. Well, it was fun for the first couple, years or few years that they did it. But after a while, this one person was like, I really don't want to do that. But they kept going. And then each time it become more and more of a burden to go. Finally, they couldn't take it anymore. And they're just like when their other 3 friends were like, hey, it's that time of year. When do you guys want to go? And they're like, you know what? I'm tired of going to that restaurant and driving 3 miles for that. Why don't we create a new tradition? There's this new restaurant in town. Can we go there instead? And all 3 of the others were like, oh, thank God, I haven't wanted to go to that other place in years. But everyone was afraid to speak up. So there you go. All right. And then lastly, we're going to pull cards here from this Chakra Love deck, and just see what the final messages the Creator has for you for this Virgo season here. So, Creator, for those that chose the Mercury card, what last messages do you have for this reading for them, please? Okay. Okay. Yep, so these are it. So I love that you got the foundation, because this is the root chakra, which we're talking about here. Its foundation is what the castle of your soul is built upon. So getting to the root and understanding why it is that you do the things you do, and are you going to do it, like I said, heart-centered, or is it going to be fear-centered, and making that foundation one of unconditional love, connecting to your higher self, rather than fearing if you don't do something, what is that going to mean about you? And then you have the heart chakra, which says self-love. You can only love others as much as you love yourself. And that is so perfect, because, I love this feeling of choosing yourself. What do you want to do? What brings joy to your heart? Because if you're not doing what you love and you're just showing up, the energy you're showing up with is not usually this joyful, happy, bonding love. It's more of like, I'm here, when can I leave? And everyone can sense each other's energy. And so they can feel that, right? And what I love with this too is like focusing during this time too, especially with this moon card, doing a lot of that reflection. It talks about this wolf. Wolves like to be part of a pack, but they also like to be off on their own at times. And I feel like this will be a time during this third week to spend some time alone and look at your own love for yourself, because if you only love yourself this is as much love as you can give, but only as much love as you can receive as well. So as you expand your self-love, the amount of love you can give just exponentially grows, and the amount of love you can feel from the outside also exponentially grows. But your self-love is where you start to determine your worth and your foundations, right? And with that, then you feel this stability that comes with it all. And then you can say no, but you don't say no like a 2-year-old that goes, no. You say no in a loving way, and find other ways to, make it an easier choice for other people to feel loved themselves, right? Because we can't choose whether other people are going to choose to feel loved or not. Any emotion anyone feels, we have no control over. We have influence, I can make it an easier choice for someone to love themselves, or a harder choice for them to love themselves by my actions and what I'm sharing. But ultimately, they make that choice, and same with ourselves. No one can make me feel any way. I choose my emotions, and like I said, people can make it an easier choice for me to choose love and loving actions, or someone can make it a more difficult choice for me to choose that, because they're creating the atmosphere that's hard, to make a choice of love when you're reacting, right? Beautiful message, though. I love this for you for the Virgo season, and just know that each and every day as you're going through the Virgo season, and every day of your life, that you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things, and I love you too. You have an amazing Virgo season, and I'm sure I'll be talking to you soon. You take care. All right, and if you chose reading number 3, which is the Earth element, then this is your reading. And when you're talking about, of course, the Earth element, you get these feelings of stability, security, abundance. And that Earth energy is what, really feels like it nurtures life. It's like Mother Nature, Mother Nurture. And the things we need, or the things that we want, and what we value in life is expressed through this Earth energy. It's kind of like this Knight of Pentacles type of energy too, which is the only knight in the deck that is slow, sure, calm. They take this unhurried, approach to things. And so that's kind of this message that comes with this earth is, avoid any kind of sudden or unexpected actions and move towards more of this step by step, not rushing, like fools rush in. It's like, no, just be okay with planting the seeds and watching them grow. Not this huge control freakish type of energy. I've got to pull those plants and make them grow. It's like, that's not going to work. So what we're going to do, since it's Earth, I felt like this native spirit deck was really calling out to see what message the Creator wants for you here for this Virgo season. And so we'll take a look, see what we have. 26 is the number here, which also breaks down to an 8, which in the major arcana is the strength card, and kind of finding that inner strength. And so it's like this real stability, really, of course, grounding time for you, during this Virgo season. All right, Creator, what do you want those that chose reading number 3, the earth element, to know about this Virgo season? Nope. Okay. There's a lot of energy in these cards, but they said they're going to make it really obvious which one it is, so we will keep going until it does. Patience, right? Unhurried. Let's slow it down. Okay, there it goes. When we become unhurried, then it reveals. Yep, you got the Spirit Keeper of the South. Beautiful card there. And I'm just going to put that right there, and we will see what energy comes with this. So, Spirit Keeper of the South, abundance, like we talked about, and prosperity in all forms. Beautiful. Expansion, surging energy. You have activity, you have movement. It does talk about some rapid growth. Be open to receiving the bounty of the universe. It's a great time for medical procedures because your energy will be at its maximum. So, and I love that, because really the earth energy, when you feel about the stability and being grounded, then it's not like you're scattered all over the place, and so your energy is being preserved. And so in certain areas of life, you will have movement and rapid growth, but it's not going to feel like this hurried life. In the native spirit of this card, it says in the medicine wheel, the south is the direction that symbolizes the warmth of the noonday sun, summertime, the full moon, and a time of rapid growth. Crops grow with vigor during the summer months. In the human cycle, it also represents the vitality of childhood. So this is your time to shine. It's also a time of great bounty in all areas of your life. So open your arms to receive gifts from the universe. If you live in the southern hemisphere, and this card is coming to you, then we'll read this. We would look at the north, the Spirit Keeper of the North instead. So I'll look at that here just in case you are in the southern hemisphere. These cards do come with a journey, and this journey, which you can do or not if it resonates with you. It says, stand facing the south during the midday. Close your eyes and feel the warmth of the sun opening your heart center. Absorb the sunlight as you sense yourself absorbing the abundance of the universe. Beautiful. Now, the Spirit Keeper of the North, which if you're in the southern hemisphere, it's take time for contemplation, turn within, connect with your ancestors, incubate ideas, mend relationships, watch your dreams, meditate. The answers are inside you waiting to be heard. Stay warm, because they're in winter. Create dreams for your future. Repair whatever is broken in your home and your life. Forgive those people and situations that you've been struggling you've been dragging around a while. So forgive those people and situations you've been dragging around for a while. And the native spirit of the north says that in the medicine wheel, the north is the direction that symbolizes the darkest time of night, the coldest part of winter, the dark of the moon. It also represents the elder time of life and even a time of endings. So if the spirit keeper of the north is speaking to you, they're indicating that it's a time to take measure of your life. Explore what's working and what's not working. What and whom do you need to release? It's also the time to make repairs in your physical environment as well as repairs to your body. Additionally, this is a time to begin to dream and make plans regarding your future. Your ancestors are close at this time, so call on them, and they want to help you. And the journey that can come with that is stand outdoors at night, facing north, inhale the darkness, sink into your own depth. In the stillness, ancient wisdom emerges. So that's for those of you in the southern hemisphere. And then we're going to go on here, and we're going to pull a card here from these chakra cards. And this is just like, what tool can you use? What energy can we use to help with this abundance, with this grounding, with this movement and growth that I was talking about? All right, Creator, so what energy will help for those that chose the earth element, please? Okay, there we go. And you got listening, number 24. We'll put that right here. And let's see what message comes with that for you. That is the throat chakra. So when this card is drawn, it's meant to let you know that it's time to take note and, of course, listen. Messages and guidance come in many forms, and you're being asked to stop for a moment and listen to the wisdom that's coming your way. You may have asked for a sign or some guidance recently. The answer will be revealed if you listen carefully. The most profound guidance comes from within, and it's time to start listening and trusting your own soul. Take some time to meditate and explore the silence in order to hear the powerful words of divine guidance coming from within you. Your angels and guides are also sharing their thoughts with you at this time. Answers may also come via songs, other people's conversations, or some other external source sharing this wisdom with you. Listen carefully to what is being presented to you at this time. This card can also suggest that you're not listening deep enough at present. And it could be that someone is sharing how they feel or their perception of a situation, and you have not been listening with an open heart, which may be causing miscommunication, challenges, and conflict. People will always have different perceptions and experiences, and it's important to allow both sides of the story to be heard and expressed. When we can understand this and not take people's expressions personally, we can be open to a world of unconditional love and communicate more from a place of love and understanding. Listen deeper in the silence, and your answers will be revealed in divine timing. And the affirmation for this card is, I listen contently, and I hear the words of wisdom loud and clear. So yeah, definitely during this time, as you're like this really grounding place, and with this, abundance and the stability and all of that coming in, I really feel, this is a nice, quieter time for you to be able to listen. And it really fills with, like we're talking about, with that grounding, with not having yourself all scattered everywhere, that when you're focused, that energy is so centered within you that it activates your spiritual gifts, your abilities in an amazing way as well. So I love how this is about listening to your higher self, listening to your gut and your intuition, but also with the throat chakra, it's about you're listening to your inner voice. What does your self-talk sound like? What are you telling yourself? Listen to that as well, because that can be transformational. And you're like, would you talk to a loved one like that? Nope. All right. And then we're going to pull some cards here from the Naked Heart Tarot, and we're going to pull 4 different cards, one for each week of the Virgo season. See what else the Creator wants you to know. Oops. One more time. That's that scattered feeling, right? All right, Creator. What do you want those that chose the Earth element to know about the first week of the Virgo season? Okay, that's week number 1. That's week number 2. This one right here is week number 3. And then week number 4. So week number 1, you have the 2 of Swords. And this is, swords are about your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, your attitudes. And what I love about this is that it's, the choices that you have to make. There's one that has the moon here, which is about listening to your inner self, listening to your gut, your intuition, listening to higher messages, right? And we're, definitely talking about, and here was talking about listening to messages and all the voices that are going on around you, including those of the other higher spiritual realm. And so, in making decisions and looking at things in the first week of the Virgo season, don't be stubborn. I kind of feel normally like, anchors being grounded, so it's like be in this grounded state. You're really going to see this divided line, between these two, sources of information from the outside world, which would be, these are our thought. Do it this way. There we go. Now that I can see it. It's hard to do it like I can do it in the mirror, right? But this is like the messages from the outside world. Those are, all those opinions, conditions, supposed to, shoulds, need tos, have tos, all those things that you've heard all your life. And so, we can become stubborn and stuck in that, like an anchor, anchored to things that we're like, it's time to take up anchor and move to a new way of thinking, a new thought process, new beliefs, new mindsets. And then you have the moon, you have this higher intuition that's kicking in for you as well. And I'd really look at when the new moon is happening in the Virgo. In fact, I wonder if I have it here. The new moon. Yeah, the Virgo new moon is actually happening on September 6th, the first week. So I am doing readings for each sign for the new moon. So those will be coming out here shortly as well. So if you haven't subscribed yet and you want to get notified of that, just make sure to hit the subscribe, that little alarm button. And when those come out, you'll see those. But yeah, I really felt like there's this new moon special messages that are coming into you for this beautiful energy that's coming in, bringing you some important messages for your life. So definitely pay attention to that new moon period and what's going on with that. And then the second week, you move into the 5 of Pentacles. And this is I kind of call it the self-worth awareness card, because you can see yourself as a diamond that's broken. You can see yourself as this pearl necklace that's been broken. And it's about, your feelings of worth, your feelings of abundance, and this is all talked about abundance coming in. And so this does challenge you, because one of our biggest blocks to receiving what's coming is our belief about our worth around abundance. If I don't think I'm worthy of it, I actually have turned the magnet the other direction and it's repelling it from me. And so I really feel like this is a beautiful week, the second week, to understand how you feel about yourself, how you determine in your self-worth. Again, we talked about self-talk. What kind of self-talk are you having? And listening to that and understanding what's at the core of those beliefs, and what that, messaging is that's coming to you there, because your thoughts and your beliefs are what control that. So with this Two of Swords, looking at your thoughts and beliefs and the decisions and how you're making them helps you with this, and that actually can spawn and help you get to that root. So I love that. And then you've got the Seven of Cups. And here's when you start to get to the root of things, it can feel like you're cloudy and you're like, I don't know what I want, because you got all these cups, or all these opportunities, all these emotions, all these, this energy that's just emotional energy that's just flooding around you. And you're like, I don't even know what I want anymore. And that's a beautiful place to be, because, when we get stubborn, we have this, when we're anchored down to the supposed to be's and shoulds of life, and especially if it's connected to things that we don't want for ourselves, then all these cups, we're like, well, which one do I pick? And it's like, well, there's no wrong choice. I love that there's no wrong choice. You have the choice of the outside world that's telling you how things should be and everything else. But then when you get in tune with your emotions, because the moon is emotions as well, then you understand more of what you're wanting. And clarification comes, through this process for you when you discover, okay, sometimes we find out what we want by experiencing what we don't want. And so a lot of these cups are things that you've experienced in the past that you're done with, that you're like, I know I don't like that. And so you are really coming to this place. Again, I keep coming back to this anchored grounding in higher things, in this beautiful place of love that you have, and you get grounded in it, and you're not so scattered trying to do all these things, because this is that foggy feeling. And so this third week, really, you're because you experienced this foggy feeling, it's like during this third week, this grounding almost gives you like this contrast, where if you hadn't experienced feeling grounded, you wouldn't even realize that you were feeling foggy before. Does that make sense? So if you're always foggy and you just thought that's the way you always were your entire life, when you have clarity, then you're like, wow. It's like if you were in pain your entire life because of, a bone, something with one of your bones, and they find out, something, and they fix something, and you have no more pain. You're like, oh my gosh, that's what that's supposed to feel like. That's kind of the feeling that I get with this, is this beautiful awareness on how you were feeling foggy before, and that you'll use that as like a navigation type of compass in your life, that, okay, I know what, when I feel foggy, what that means. That means I'm, trying to be out here in the scatteredness instead of coming here, to the core and coming into what I really want to do, what brings me joy, what brings me, the passion and that in my life. And then you go to week number 4, which is the Three of Wands. And this is beautiful too, because the Wands is all about this fire, this passion, this drive within you. And the Wands can also represent like your spiritualness. Now, the Two of Wands is about making plans, about, go to point A to B to C to D of a journey of 1,000 miles, and you go, okay, this is how I'm going to get there. Here's all the steps, and you've taken a step. And the Three of Wands is about, here you have the Sun, looks like the Sun card here. You're realizing what you really want, and you're making changes to your plans. You're altering your plans. You've, taken steps. You're like, okay, now that I've gone a step, I know that's not like here. I know that's not where I want to go. So I'm altering. I'm going to go this way, or this way in the opposite direction. And that's okay. It's wonderful that you're making choices for you and choices that you want to do with your life in ways that you want to head. But it's a very, like it was mentioning, it's not like fast movement in every area of your life. A lot of your life is going to go, and then as you bring all that energy in and become centered and anchored, and in that silence and in those moments, understanding what you really want, right? With these Two of Swords, it's then that areas of your life just, like I said, this bright light is like, it's very obvious. It's almost like you have like, if you had these 7 cups and you're like, which one should I choose? And one starts glowing. You're like, oh, I think that's the one. And that's how it will be for you in that 4th week there. You're going to get really clear, have a lot of clarity and understanding of next steps. And then lastly, we're going to pull some cards here from this Chakra Love deck and just see what the final messages for the Creator are for you that chose the Earth element. All right, thank you. And any others, please. Okay, last pass. Okay, that one. Thank you. And here we go. And this is the 3rd eye chakra. So it says dreams. Dreams are where your mind translates the divine. So yeah, I love that because it's like, I'm going to put this down here because this is where you're realizing what your dreams really are and what you want to head and, go into. That 3rd eye chakra really gives you that clarity from a spiritual perspective. So really taking that time alone that you need to connect to your higher self, get away from all that noise of the supposed to's and shoulds and need to's and have to's, really get grounded is such an amazing thing for you there. Yeah, because here you go. Divinity. Recognize the divine in the mirror. And that's your crown chakra. So I really feel, this is like as I was saying, it's important for you to get into that, time alone. I love how this always looks like a hurricane. Get into the eye, get into that calm place, connect to your higher being, your higher self, that powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love. Because that's when you find out what your dream really is. You find out what your passion really is. And it's about getting into that quiet space. I love this for you. And just know as you go through each and every day of your life, and especially this Virgo season, that you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And I love you too. You have an amazing Virgo season, and I'm sure I'll talk to you very soon. You take care now. And lastly, happy birthday, all my Virgo sons. So this reading is your special bonus reading for you. And we're actually going to go a little bit, not like super deep, but we're going to look at your entire year, not just for the Virgo season. We're just going to say, this is what the Creator wants you to know for your next rotation around the sun. And if you want anything more specific, of course, I do offer personal readings. So I always like to offer those to my birthday people. In the description box below, we'll tell you how you can do that if you're interested in getting a more detailed, kind of month by month or whatever you'd like to know about your next year. So we're going to jump in, and what we're going to look at here is, first of all, the Power of Surrender cards. So like the other readings I did, we're going to do this represents the Virgo questioning, what am I ready to have fall out of my life and come back in. Then we're also going to do the energy of the Mercury and also the energy of the Earth element. You get all 3 because it's your birthday. So we'll find out first here. So for the entire next year for our Virgo sons, what is it that you would have them consider about what can be let go out of their life or what they can allow to come into their life during that period? And one more time. All right, Creator, What is it for all of our Virgo suns? Okay, I feel like this is the one. Excuse me. Yep. Surrender to your full power. And beautiful, beautiful. This reminds me of the Strength card very much, which we'll see if that comes out for you. But as your life is calling for you to step into your full power rather than playing it small. And that I will talk about this strength journey here, because this really is about what my interpretation of the Strength card is in the tarot deck. And so the lion, because it usually has a lion in the picture, represents our human side, the playing it small part, you know, when because we really are these powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit beings made of unconditional love. And we come down here and pretend to be this small character, this little avatar that we're playing on the earth. Well, as this lion, right, we're told, you know, we're hungry and we're thirsty, so we're told, look out here for that which will, you know, make you feel full, and that will quench your thirst. And as we know, all that stuff is temporary. We go out and eat, and it's like American Chinese food. We're hungry an hour later, so it doesn't, you know, satisfy our hunger. Then we drink a soda along with that Chinese food, which is full of sodium. And instead of quenching our thirst, it makes us even thirstier. So the lion in us starts to get desperate. It starts to get hangry, you know, the hungry, angry. And so it's going through the jungle, roaring at the top of its lungs, because it's desperate to, you know, not feel so hungry and not feel so thirsty. And what it's searching for, this is actually searching for love, right? It's searching for that unconditional love from where we came, because all that conditional love is temporary, it's unstable, and it doesn't satisfy. What we're looking for comes from within. And the amazing thing with the Strength card is, you know, it's usually the female that's represented is our higher self, which she's carrying this Ace of Wands, which for me represents the fire element. The Ace of Wands for me represents spirit, your spiritual energy. And usually in like the Strength card, there will be even an infinity symbol in there representing our infinite self. And so she comes down here. She doesn't come down to stab it with the sword or the spear, you know, it doesn't come down to kill the hangry lion. It also doesn't try to cage it. It doesn't try to suppress it, you know, with that chair and whip, trying to make it obey. It brings it what it's been searching for, which is the essence of what we are, unconditional love. So it comes down and gives a big hug and lets all that love flow into the lion. And because of that, the lion transforms from this, you know, loud roaring lion in the jungle to this cute little purring cub sitting in her lap, feeling secure and safe for the first time in its life. And so when it's about surrendering to your full power, it's about surrendering to your inner strength, to your higher power, because that's where your full power comes in. And the reason I mentioned that she doesn't try to kill the lion with the spear is because sometimes we'll get the spiritual belief that to become spiritual, we have to kill the ego, kill it. And that's not the case, right? The lion, that animal side, the being that has that fight or flight adventure on this planet, is a part of us. And instead of trying to kill it off, we join together and we walk hand in hand on that journey together. And so they become buddies and they walk side by side throughout their path. And so that is what this next year is all about for you as a theme. We'll see what else comes up here for us. And next we're going to pull a card here from your messengers, the Mercury kind of aspect. And these are the angel guide deck. We're just going to see what message the messengers have for you for this next year. What would they like you to know overall? So your angels and your guardian angels and your spirit guides. What would they like you to know? Creator. For all our Virgo suns. Okay, I feel like it's this one. We got clear, cancel, and release. It's like doing the Vogue. Sorry, that's what I saw. I'm sorry. Doing the Vogue dance. I love that. So the clear, cancel, and release. It says you're being guided to clear your life and energy of any negative or challenging people, situations, or events. It's time to release any old ideas, negative thought patterns, or even sarcastic comments you may be using to put yourself down. Angel wisdom wants you to recognize and realize the power of your words, your thoughts, and your intentions. All right, back to power again, right? If you're saying something, even jokingly, about yourself that might have a negative effect on or express something you wish wasn't real, you're being encouraged to be more loving toward yourself. Angels are guiding you to clear, cancel, and release anything you no longer want or need in order to make more room for love, positivity, and peace. And the extended message says, whenever you have a negative thought or say something you then wish you hadn't, you have the capacity to remove that idea or energy from your own energy by saying the powerful affirmation, clear, cancel, release. Powerful intentions. Again, this your inner power, right? Angels are ready and willing to help you clear anything that could be standing between you and your inner peace. When you draw this card, you're also being encouraged to clear any clutter from your life. If there's dust building up or stuff accumulating in your home, your office, your car, or anywhere else you spend time, clear it now. When you clear physical space, you clear psychic space. Making these simple changes will clear your energy and open you up to experiencing a sense of clarity and freedom. That's awesome. What's good is that you have a whole year to clear the clutter, so you're not under pressure time frame wise. So I love that because it's talking about your inner power and being aware of the lion's impact on your life and what can you clear away out of that. What can your higher self clear away out of that? How can you transform all those negative thoughts and those negative things? How can you look at that from your higher perspective? How can you transform that and understand that through your connection to your higher being? So beautiful, beautiful. And then we have the native spirit, which this is that earth element energy of the Virgo. And so we're just going to see what Mother Earth and the native spirits of the earth have for you for your next year. Okay, Creator, what else do you have for our Virgo sons for this next year of their life? Divine Mother, Divine Feminine of our Creator. Okay. And you got the white buffalo. That's beautiful. Let's put that right here. And so the white buffalo is about abundance and security flowing into your life. All things are possible. Balance and harmony prevail. You may be called upon to stand up for others, but you can do this because you have the support of many beings in the spiritual realm, right? And your native spirit wants you to know that in Native American traditions, there are prophecies about the coming of the white buffalo, especially among the Lakota, Dakota, and Nakota, or the Sioux. There's a legend that white buffalo calf woman, a mystical being, came to the people a very long time ago when they were out of balance. She gifted the people with a sacred bundle containing the white buffalo calf pipe to help restore the balance. Upon leaving, the white buffalo calf woman prophesied that she will return at the end of an age and that she will appear as a white buffalo calf. In recent times, white buffalo calves have been born, leading many to believe that this is the beginning of a new time. When this card chooses you, it's an honor, for it speaks of a time of miracles and balance in all things. You are a channel for the greater forces in the universe. With their help, all is possible, but without it, things can be a struggle. Surrender to support from the Great Spirit. You do not have to do everything alone. And then the journey that this card offers, if it so resonates with you, is it says, shapeshift into the white buffalo, and the energy this card brings will multiply tenfold. So imagine that you can feel the power in your muscles and the I don't know what this word is. Wow. Fecund. So feel that power in your muscles and the fecund, I guess, earth beneath your hooves. So it must mean like powerful. You can look it up if you don't know what that word means. I will after this reading. So feel the weight of your horns and the warmth of your hide. This calls the deeper energies of white buffalo into your life. Beautiful. Balance. So powerful balance. Again, power is talking about your powerful muscles, your powerful ability to balance. You have that beautiful white buffalo calf pipe that you get to breathe in and bring into this balance into your life over this next year. Beautiful, beautiful. Loving it, loving it. And then next we're going to pull a chakra card and just see what else the Creator would like you to know about this next coming year. What tool, what spirit energy, chakra energy can you bring in over this next year? What can help you with this beautiful journey over your next rotation around the sun? You've got abundance. Card number 8, which also is the number for the strength card. So I love that abundance. And that's Ganesh, which is the remover of obstacles, making itself known. So let's look up number 8 here. And again, this is the root chakra, the base chakra. So it's getting to the root, understanding. It's like the physical plane, understanding the physicalness of your world. It's where you face your fears like a bull sees red and charges. It's understanding your drive, and it's the realm of the lion is the root chakra, because that's you move from the crown chakra, which is your higher spiritual energy, all the way down to the root chakra at the very core. So would be the lion that's walking along the jungle. It says you've pulled this card as a reminder that abundance is available for you at all times. It's your natural state of being to resonate at this expansive vibration. The world and the universe is a playground of abundant energy, which is available to you in each and every moment of the day. If you have been stuck in a conscious state of not being able to attract and manifest your heart's desires, know that the door of abundance is wide open and inviting you to step inside. You are a co-creator with the universe and can manifest in abundance anything you require at any time. If the bills have been piling up and there seems to be a lack of finances to go around, know that abundance is at hand. Abundance comes in many forms, not just money. Love, joy, gratitude, and healing are here for you now. Take a moment today to tune into and feel and acknowledge the abundance in your life. Become aware of how you may be sabotaging or shutting yourself off to this powerful energy, and do what is required to allow this flow to occur once again. You may wish to ask your angels for help to clear any blockages. Do a guided meditation or even work with some powerful crystals like citrine or jade. You are deserving of this abundance in your life now and always. It's your natural birthright. Abundance is showering its blessings upon you now and always. Be open and receive its light. And the affirmation for the card is, I am the abundant flow of the divine. The wealth of the universe flows to me and through me now and always. I love that. Clear, cancel, and release. And it talks about here that your angels, which is the angel guide deck, can help you clear those blockages. So beautiful, beautiful. And I love that. So abundance, is wonderful. And that's the Virgo energy too. With that earth energy, it brings in this beautiful, energy of abundance. All right. And then next what we're going to do, I'm going to move these up here, is we're going to pull some cards here as well from the Naked Heart Tarot. And we're just going to see what else the Creator wants you to know about this next year, next rotation around the sun for you. Okay, and what they're telling me is they want to give you just a little peekaboo of the first, since you've got your kind of your overall picture for the year, of what the general is. They're going to give you 6 cards, which represent the first 6 months. So starting with your birthday, okay? Don't read too much into that. Here's the 2nd month. Here's the 3rd month. Okay, what about 4? Okay, 4. And then number 5. Okay. And that's number 6. All right. I love that. So, of course, you get the 3 of Swords for your birthday month. And it's a beautiful card, though. I mean, even though it looks, so like heartbreak, that's because this card represents heartbreak and expectations. It is the awareness, because swords are your beliefs, your thoughts, your mindsets, your attitudes. And so this is all about this awareness that comes to you during your first month. And what that is telling you is that it brings you this awareness that your heart can never be broken. The lion can feel like he has a broken heart when he's looking outside of himself, when he's feeling literally starving, where you can see his ribs, right? And so when the lion, us, we're looking outside of ourselves for our abundance, for that which satisfies our hunger and our thirst, like this story of the Strength card, then what this represents is how you feel when you pretend that you are going to be fulfilled from the outside. But in an instant, when we connect to our higher self and we look for that unconditional love from our higher self, that's what shows us that, oh, yeah, my heart can't be broken. But it was fun pretending for a while, because in experiencing heartbreak and experiencing what that lion experienced about hunger and thirst, we understand more how wonderful it feels when you feel whole, when your stomach feels full, and when you're not thirsty, right? And so that's what this brings in the first month for you. And then you move into the 2nd month, and then you have the Spirit of Wands. And the Spirit of Wands would be like the King of Wands in the regular tarot. And the King of Wands for me, again, fire, fire energy. There's the Ace of Wands, which she's, you're talking about her holding in that card. And for me, because the Spirit and it actually says Spirit of Wands here, but because wands for me represent the fire, wands also represent your spiritual side, your spiritual energy. And this actually says Spirit of Wands, which cracks me up. But so for me, the highest place of your spirit is your higher self. And so that's why I really feel like it's during this month, the second month, that you connect to your higher self. You understand more fully your higher self. And the the type of blizzard that is here is the kind that can withstand fire. And so you don't have to worry about being hurt, by being burned by your beautiful, bright higher self. But that it is a being of unconditional love. It is you. And as you connect higher and connect more to your higher self, it also takes you to this new place of a relationship with the Creator, with Spirit, with all those beings of unconditional love and light on the other side, your guardian angels and angels, your spirit guides, your loved ones who have been on this planet with you during this lifetime and have already gone to the other side, your ancestors, and any of the other beings of unconditional love and light you believe in, unicorns, fairies, leprechauns, whatever. You have that higher connection with them, and you just get this closer bond and connection to the Creator. So it's beautiful because, as you really are understanding this beautiful connection between your higher self and your lower human avatar, you move from this feeling of feeling heartbroken and hungry, seeing your ribs, to someone that's being, again, you're finding yourself and living with awareness of your higher self more and more and more and more, which takes you into your third month, which is the Sage. Usually this is the Hierophant in other decks, but for this one, this represents, it says the Sage, so that's the learner, the teacher. But I love the third eye, again, as you're connecting to your higher self, you're seeing things, the all-knowing eye, you're connecting to higher wisdom. And I kind of see this as like the Akasha Records book. You're being able to see your life in a whole different way. You're being able to see your life from this higher realm, because when you connect to your higher self, you start to understand that before you came down here, you chose, what am I going to be? I'm going to be a lion, this avatar. I'm this lion, and these are my skills, and these are my quests, and this is where I'm going to be born, and what my challenges are, all that stuff you determine, before you come down here. And then you also decide when you're going to leave the game, and you decide all the levels that you're going to live as you're going through it. And with that Akasha record, you understand that you're peering into your entire life already. Your life has been lived. We just don't realize it yet. Because when spirit, we're outside of time and space. And so time is not linear. It's all happening at the same time all at once. And we have the ability to go and live in any part of our life that we've lived. They already know the choices that we're going to make because we've made them when you're looking at from the future back. But they don't, spirit doesn't mess with our free will, because we still have all these fated events and all these levels we want to experience while we're here. But while we're within each of them, we get to decide what each of it means about us, what story we put to it, as well as, are we going to choose an emotion of extreme fear or an emotion of extreme unconditional love or whatever in between? And there goes our little roller coaster life, because we experience it and we want to experience that. So this beautiful awareness can come from that, and we can glance. They don't give us our entire Akasha record so we can read it and go, oh, I know what everything is going to unfold. How boring would life be if you knew everything that was going to happen? It'd be fun for, maybe a week or two. But after that, you're like, oh, why do I even wake up? Why am I even here if I know what's going to happen tomorrow? It's exciting. The unknown becomes exciting. And so we are allowed to let that unfold. the Hierophant, too, on the regular deck is all about our spiritual beliefs and how we've been gated in and boxed in our beliefs. And, originally it's for our own good. They did it out of their heart to try to, if we come together and believe a certain thing, we can accomplish so much together. But then it became, the ego moved in and became more power, more power, more power. So we've got, a lot of organization and definement around how we can live spiritually upon the earth. And so this also challenges you to look above that, move beyond that, because you can question, well, why can't I boldly, talk to the Creator and go sit on their lap and snuggle with them and act like they're my best friend? Oh no, you can't do that. It's like, well, who says? You get to develop the relationship that you want with the Creator because it's yours and no one else's. Which brings you into month 4, which is the Innocence of Pentacles. So this would be like the Page of Pentacles. And this represents Pentacles as like the outside world. And so the Page has a couple messages. One, that Page is our messengers. So you're going to be getting messages from the outside. And it's funny, here's a little calf right by this buffalo. It just jumped out at me. So it's like this is when you're getting this message of balance, this message of beautiful peace and tranquility, this beautiful messages on how you can do it, just as great, and then abundance, but the Page of Pentacles, or Innocence of Pentacles, also is related to a child, right? And so it takes you back to this time where before you had all this, like the Sage, like the Emperor and the Hierophant, which are closely related in the deck. It's number 4 and number 5. They are all about the society and humans putting these restrictions and putting this, defining things. And by defining it, it's suppressing things. And, society, again, I don't diss society and organized religions and those types of things because they're all part of our beautiful journey and adventure. But they, even though they have a lot of great things, they also tend to not allow you to be who you are and to live your life spiritually the way you want to be, right? With the Innocence of Pentacles, it takes you back before that time when you were a little child, before you started getting all the good girl, good boy, bad boy, and all those roles that suck the life out of your sail, right? Where there's no more wind in your sail, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm imprisoned in all these roles. Well, when you're a 2-year-old, before, you're getting all that feedback and all those corrections, like, no, this is what you need to do, bad, or good girl, here's a cookie, before you're all that. You just think there's endless possibilities before someone pokes a hole in your dream. Like, little boys want to be, firemen or policeman, and little girls, I want to be a princess or a doctor. And then someone else is like, I want to be an alien, and all these weird extreme things that, outside world sees as weird and strange. And you're like, what? This is so great. Well, that's the kind of energy that you return to during this fourth month, that, there are so many possibilities because you're dealing with a lot of these restrictions being removed, and you're allowing yourself to see that there's this greater possibility. And that's a beautiful balance, So I really feel like during this month, with that white buffalo being there and this little kind of buffalo calf being here, that this is about this wonderful balance between your lion and your higher self as well. And then we move into month number 5, which you've got the 4 of Pentacles. So you get squirreled. No, I'm just kidding. You've got, what I love is that, a squirrel doesn't worry about its entire life, its life plan, and it doesn't put enough nuts away for its entire anticipated life. It does prepare for winter instinctively, and it does put some things away. for it, but it lives in the today. It lives in the moment. It understands that it has all the abundance that it needs. And with this wonderful, abundance card, of course, right below this one as well, this is about having enough. You even have enough to give some away. But you have found your self-worth. You have found your abundance internally. 4 Pentacles, if you think of the number 4 as like a table with 4 legs, it has 4 very stable legs. The table is very stable. And so it's like your outside world with this balance that's been coming in, with the white buffalo and with this too, you just feel like, okay, I'm grateful for what I have. I have enough to even give to others without making myself suffer. But I have everything I need. And it's this inner confidence and this inner, balance that you have in, which brings you into number 6, which is the 2 of Pentacles. And so the Pentacles again, so here's the Pentacles, but this is about the balancing. And I always look at this, here's the infinity symbol here, that's flowing here. So that always, for me, brings in spirit. It brings your higher self into the picture. And this is the balance between the earth and your lion self and your higher self. So this is leaking out into the external world, where this journey is a lot of an inner journey and an inner relationship. This is where, because it's Pentacles, it moves out into the external world, where you're allowing yourself to not only see it within you, but also seeing it within others. And you're understanding other people's actions. When the lions are roaring and going around hangry and acting in chaos, you understand, the little boo is hungry and it's thirsty. They'll reach out to their higher self and find that when they're ready. All you can do is love. All you can do is love. All you can do is your higher self, with all this abundance that it has, can let that love flow out. And if that love sparks their remembrance, if that unconditional love that is overflowing out of you sparks their awareness of their higher self, then that can help and spark that. But outside of that, you really can't help anyone, because they're on their own journey, they're on their own adventure. And this beautiful reflection is keeping yourself in balance as well. And, our little tiger can feel like life is temporary and life is short. Oh my God, rush, 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 rush. There's so much going on, where our higher self is infinite, which is the infinity symbol, on its side, is saying, I got all the time in the world. So, because I'm outside of time, there is no time. So, I'm eternal. I'm here forever. Not maybe on here, this earth forever, but you are existing forever. And once this adventure is done, then, the entity of your lion self gets drawn back up into you, and you go on more and more adventures together. So that's a beautiful 6 months. It gives you a little high level view over those. I do put out monthly readings by sign. So if you haven't yet subscribed, if you subscribe to my channel and hit that little alarm bell, you'll get notified when those come out. I usually put them out about like mid-month for the following month, but there's a playlist on my YouTube channel, so if you ever want to go check them out, you can go and look at it for the upcoming month or the current month, and see what additional messages can be there for you as you go through. Or if you want not a general reading for the entire sign, I, of course, I think I mentioned at the beginning, I do offer personal readings, and I'm not trying to be a salesman. I just want you to know that if you are interested, the information's down below. All right, so we're going to pull your final messages here for this next annual rotation around the sun for you from the Chakra Love deck. Let's see what the final messages the Creator wants you to know about this coming year. What else would you like them to know? Okay. Okay. And anything else. Okay, last pass. Oh, that is it. So you've got 3. So you've got the throat chakra and creativity. Use creativity to transform your pain into positivity. So definitely, especially as you connect with your higher self, being a co-creator, when you connect to the creator of all things through your higher self, you have boatloads of creativity that come through. Yep. And the heart chakra, love. Love is a verb. So make it your most treasured action. So I love, 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 because that's what it is all about, right? And then lastly, again, creation. And this is the sacral chakra. And it says the flames of destruction will ignite a rebirth. And so, that's all about endings and new beginnings as well. And this doesn't necessarily have to be in these months. I'm just saying overall, you have boatloads of creativity that can come through in the throat chakra is how you communicate that through your mouth or through your hands and actions out to the world. You have this beautiful heart that fills up with this love, fills it up and flows out to the world. And it talks about, clear, cancel, and release. So, when it talks about creation, this does transform, and will make space for things. Like a tower, when things are removed out of our lives, they're being removed for us to make room for the things that we want. And it's like a phoenix. It goes through this flame and burning down. And then the little baby phoenix rises from the ashes to grow into this re-energized, revitalized, beautiful, powerful, phoenix. So I love that. And if you're into the crystals, of course, for the throat chakra, it was amazonite. For the heart chakra, it's rhodonite. And for the sacral chakra, it's fire agate or agate, depending on how you pronounce it. I've heard it pronounced a bunch of different ways. But I'm loving this year for you, and just know as you go throughout each and every second of your next annual rotation around the sun that you are unconditionally loved by the creator of all things, and I love you too. You have an amazing year, and of course, we'll be talking to each other very soon. So happy, happy, happy birthday. Do something special for you on your birthday, even if you're like, I'm tired of doing that. Do something extra special for you. Either on your birthday or somewhere close to it, but take time for you because you deserve it and you are loved. You take care now. We'll talk to you soon.